Good morning. Today is May 24th, 2011, and it's Tuesday. Currently, there is a group of people called the Immigrants going to Sacramento, and they are going to plead for immigrant rights. Immigrant rights are based on our Constitution of immigration and migration. Of mainly, it was set up from our colonies to go over on the Mason-Dixon line, which is from the colonies into Ohio. And they were colonists on movement, and not so much from foreign countries, because the Monroe Doctrine stopped that. I've talked about Monroe Doctrine a number of times, and basically that doctrine ceases colonies or colonization by other countries. Say if a country like England wanted to continue in the United States, they would colonize other states or areas and then be part of England. And those colonies were in fact prisons. So the immigration rights could be either prison rights they're looking for, that people are immigrants in prisons, or they may be looking for rights as they come into the United States, but they're not colonized into a doctrine's area. If they go as a group up to Sacramento, we will not look at you as a colony group coming up for any kind of rights or treaties. As far as immigration rights, they've already been granted. You do get food stamps, and that's a federal assistance to immigrants. As far as welfare goes, there is a certain residency that has to be proven, and you got to remember that immigrants, all of you are born in another country. Your parents are in another country, so your parents didn't pay taxes in this country for any length of time. So it's hard to pay for all of you to be here if there is no descendant line, because we have no way to pay the tax money because it didn't come from your parents paying taxes over the years. So all we can give you right now is food stamps. There's a lot of charitable organizations that can help you with clothing and assist you in sheltering. That's throughout the state of California, and it's throughout the areas of the United States. We do not allow coyote in. That means amount of money to be paid to come into the United States. If that's a right that you're seeking to be enforced, then fine, we'll work with you on enforcing those rights. I'm speaking on a federal level. Governor Brown may have a state level he can talk to you about as far as education in the state area. The federal part of education, we do provide a certain amount of food while you're going to school. You are required to learn English if you're going to be here in the United States. We do not honor a second language in this country. We will teach you Spanish or French because those are part of our posterity. But English is required. You are required to read English. You're not a colony. We won't recognize you as a little Chinatown, because we've already done that, and they did that before the Monroe Doctrine. We already have a little Mexico town in Los Angeles, so we're not making any more colony towns because we can't do that anymore. So as far as immigration, that's about all that we can give you currently is the food stamps. There's nothing wrong with food stamps and any other aid, medical aid. There is a lot of mercy areas in medication that they will help you with, and they're listed on what the general welfare will give you when you go into welfare to apply for your food stamps. We won't give you money unless the state has some way that you can get state aid as a non-citizen. You can apply for citizenship. Our borders can be closed at any time we wish, and right now they're basically left up to the various border controls, we don't have a restricted immigration laws except our enemies currently, which is Iraq and Afghanistan and Pakistan. We do have immigration stops on those entities. That's about all I have on immigration. The next area I'll briefly touch on is Joplin. When a tornado goes through, it's called a drop of the upper atmosphere, which is a jet stream core. There's been films that have seen, there's a good film on YouTube of a tower showing the jet stream core dropping down and touching the earth. When it touches the earth, it collapses. When it collapses, an outflow of pressure. The pressure is the outflow from the jet stream core. On the surface of the earth, say the surface of the earth, air pressure, sea level pressure is 29.72, for example. And then the jet stream air pressure is basically zero. So you lose 29.72 inches of your statue when it comes down to earth. When you lose 29 inches of a 2x4 board, it breaks off. You lose 29 inches of a human being, it breaks off, it implodes. You won't find too much as far as bodies when you look in a tornado area because they've imploded. I hate to be bold, but that's the truth. The miles per hour that they give you of 138 miles an hour or 142 miles an hour is the outer bands of the cell itself, but it's not the drop of the actual jet stream core. You can see the core drop when you look at the YouTube film, and then you actually see the outflow come out from when it collapsed. The outflow is what collapsed the people 29.72 inches. So if you're 6 foot high, then you take 29 inches off your statue. That's a little over 2 feet off your statue. So then their body is consumed or collapsed into that 2 feet. That's what sea level pressure indicates. Now, on that particular tornado, it had an ice band that came up from the southwest. That ice band went into the core into Joplin. We're trying to plot it. There is a plot of airlines that could go east-west from Memphis, let's say, and go in maybe New Mexico or some areas in maybe Nevada, Las Vegas. We're not sure. We haven't seen it that far yet. What we're looking for is jet airplane that will actually cross under the jet stream or the jet core before it drops. That's the ice core. And the jet will actually go like this on the plot and then take a drop like this and then come back up. And then we'll be able to vector that in and find out exactly the location where the enhancer was or is. You can enhance the upper atmosphere with various types of Doppler radar. Our Dopplers in the government do what's called a sweep. People can Doppler radar with private Dopplers. They can do an affixation, and they affix to a point, and then they do a triangulation and trapezoid it. And a trapezoid is a trigonometry base, and it traps the atmosphere. It can actually trap the atmosphere. If you go back all the way back to when George Washington was in the Revolutionary War, he fought the British with cannons in the weather. He was able to explode the cannons in the atmosphere and change the weather by the vibrations. The same procedure is done in warfare. In military on various countries have the same procedures. The People's Republic of China, when we fought them in areas of Vietnam, they have the same battlegrounds, but they use a different measurement procedure, and they use meters per second. We use miles per hour. So it was a little hard to find them, but we did find them on a trapezoid, and we were able to stop some of their forward movement into Vietnam. So warfare is rules of engagement, and what I'm speaking of is common knowledge in warfare. It's written in books. You all can read them, and it's public record. But Joplin, I don't particularly like people gathering together in a little colony of 17 people in a location where there's no one alive and saying they're survivors. I don't like that. That's an improper way of squatting. The proper way that I wanted to set Joplin up was section that off and have the Marine Corps go in and do an enumeration of who lived there, and then get the full count of all the losses there. And then if the squatters want to come in, they can come in through a lot, but they still have to do a chain of title back to the original owner and contact the original owner's posterity, their relatives, to see if they want that property. If they don't want the property, then they can either work an arrangement out with payment of whatever amount of money they can negotiate, which basically is rubble, and then they can squat that area, but not do a colony show and then broadcast it on news media, because the news media hasn't seen this video yet, because that's common fraud. Well, that's what I wanted to speak on Joplin. We are still working on it, and the Marines are in the area, and they are working with the command of the United States Department of Defense, and we are in contact with them, and we will have more answers for you as time to time. Thank you. This has been Guy Perea, President of the United States, and wish you all a good day today.